Hey man, I'm just letting you know right now, a lot of people are not gonna like this video, okay? If you follow me, you know that I tell the truth, right? I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm not trying to play up anybody or play down anybody. I'm telling you exactly what I see the value of a character for what they're worth, right? So I'm not gonna give away too much, but you know, hey man, if this bothers you, if you don't share my same opinions, that's fine, dude. Just tell me what you think, like, your differing opinion is in the comments. You know, we could talk about it, rap about it, or whatever. But I'm just letting you know from my perspective how KUNZ actually performs. So without wasting too much time, let's just go ahead and jump into the contract. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what his card's going to do. It's going to fill up the rage bar of all allies except himself by 5 whenever he uses his skill. So that's pretty cool. It'll be very good for like long-lasting fights. I feel like that would be very good for like guild raid, where every time he takes a turn, and you know, your allies get rage skills, especially from like Scarlet and Kairos, and certain units make a big deal on raid boss score. So I think that'll be really good for that. I also think it could potentially be good for Trivia and Isard. As for the arena right now, unless you're taking a tank versus tank team, then it's not really going to play out, but it could play out well against Magnus teams, because a lot of people are starting to use like tankier comps with Magnus, especially like in the arena, because like Nima, you see he has the same collection effect with her too. They both kind of work, as in the more enemies there are, the better they perform, but we'll get into that later. So he could potentially be a stall versus stall unit in the arena, or if you were going against a stall team, but most arenas don't last that long. The exclusive equipment fills up the rage bar of all allies except for yours by 4 per enemy inflicted with damage when using Purifying Ceremony. Purifying Ceremony is the rage skill, okay? In order to get his rage skill, for that to actually take effect, you're gonna need your rage card, to be something that's helping boost his rage skill altogether and like helping him get that faster. Because as we all know, a lot of like arena going on right now is turn 1. You know what, you can disagree that arena is turn 1, but I mean, pretty much everyone in top 3, top 4 that competes for that knows that arena is turn 1. But let's just go ahead and look at his kit. Okay, this one inflicts damage to the enemy by 95% of the attack and grants the unenhanceable effect for 3 turns, and it increases the chance up to 100 whenever you promote his SSR skill card. So the thing about this, 95% of the attack, I'm pretty sure this goes up to like 140 or something. It's not the worst for a supporter, not the worst multiplier. It has some pretty good range, so it's possible that you can make effective this on the bridge stage and the donut stage on Guild Wars. This could possibly be a good ability for that. But for raid, Trivia, and Isard, the areas I think he would shine the most, this will not be very helpful for those areas. So it's kind of a win-lose situation with this ability and some of his other abilities, whether they're good for PvE or good for PvP. This one would probably be less of a PvE ability. It's also single target, so it might even be less of a PvP ability. I could potentially see some situations where that could come in handy, but they're few and far between. Wind Totem summons a totem that inherited 20 of your total HP, recovers the HP of nearby allies by 17% of your total HP, and increase the attack speed for 3 turns. And whenever it's promoted, it also increases pin rate by 20%. Now that's a lot of buffs, and that sounds really, really good. But we're going to throw back to, you know, whenever the game came out, week 1, 2, 3, and 4, pretty much Tala was the most debated unit, and that's why I know this is going to be such a hot, like, hotly debated unit right now, because Tala, her debatability came from her 3rd skill, putting down this flag, where the range of the flag is humongous, and people were having trouble finding comps to fit inside of that flag and take advantage of the range of the flag. The range of this thing is like 1/3 of that range. So I don't see how you could possibly shit on Tala for the first month of the game, saying that she's terrible because dealers can't take use of the range of the flag, whenever this dude's shit has like literally less than half that range, and somehow he's rated almost 5 stars. Makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. That being said, increasing the attack speed as an AoE, very, very good for PvE. Again, putting this in like a guild raid or, you know, Trivia would be fucking dope. That would be ideal for that. Versus in PvP, if you didn't even get this down in time, that's the other thing, is like, you have to build him so fucking tank. We'll get into it a little bit more later. Next is going to be Earth Totem. Summons an Earth Totem that inherited 20% of your total HP to grant protection equal to 20% of your HP to nearby allies, and increase the defense for 3 turns. Whenever allies in range in their turns, recovers their HP by 13% of your total HP, and increases effect resistance. Again, it's the exact same thing as the second one. This sounds fucking amazing, and it could be amazing if you could control your entire team staying in this tiny ass little bitch ass circle. But the thing is, you probably can't, because a lot of the things going around right now in the arena is Madeline pulling people like towards her, so they're going to pull them out of the circle. Magnus is going to provoke people. They're going to move out of the circle voluntarily or involuntarily because of provoke. You know, things like Farius is, if you're grouped up like this, that's the other thing. This encourages you to be super duper grouped up. There's already so many people complaining about how strong Farius is, and this is literally encouraging teams to group up in PvP if you're using this unit, which is an ideal one-shot scenario for Farius. So if you want to put down both of these totems to get maximum effectiveness out of him, that's, you know, 2 turns of rotation. On top of that, after usually 1 turn with Farius, you're crippled. After 2 turns, you're just done, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you would definitely need God equips in order to make this work. You would have to do something, man, because just like the way that this forces you to clump your team is not ideal for PvP. And last but not least is the rage skill Purifying Ceremony. Inflicts damage to all enemies by 8% of your total HP, decrease the rage bar of those who are inflicted with damage by 50, removes 2 of their beneficial effects on them, and fills up your rage bar by 8 per enemy inflicted. So the thing about this, again, whenever we look at was it the exclusive equipment, if you have his exclusive equipment, it fills up the rage bar of all allies except for yours by 4 when using Purifying Ceremony. And this also fills up his own rage bar when using it as well. So it fills up your entire team's rage bar, which could be good too, because you use this and it fills up your own rage bar. So you could kind of spam it. So he's like a snowballing unit, right? The longer he's on the battlefield, it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder for you to take care of the team. But the thing is, like, the totems, man, the range, it's just not gonna work. Like, your whole team has to stay super close. If you're trying to counter Magnus and the enemy Magnus team does not have a Farius, this could potentially be really good. The other thing, in PvE, again, this is fucking amazing for like guild raid, like super duper good, but I just don't think it's going to cut it in PvP, which is what, you know, a lot of the focus is, because in PvE, once you have it on farm, it doesn't really matter. You just sit there and farm it times 10. Most people don't even farm it times 10 because there's not 6-star equipments out. So the only really relevant thing is PvP, and this is just like, PvP is turn 1, smash, fucking kill, die, die. And now if you have a unit that involves slowly ramping up to maximum effectiveness, it just cancels out, man. You get totally annihilated turn 1 or turn 2. You don't have time to ramp that up. So let's go ahead and look at the reviews, break down some of the top ones, you know. Wait a minute, what was it? Break down some of the bad ones, buff up some of the good ones, and then we'll write one ourselves. Yeah, that's what we do. First comment, I don't give a fuck. Time to retire Popo. No, do not retire Popo for him. They do different things. Meta much. No. Use another useless comment. I fucking hate all of you guys. Okay. Great character, but on auto he will always buff as many mercs as possible and not heal mercs that are dying. I could see that because he doesn't really seem to be heal focused, and if you wanted a healer, Lakshmi pretty much has that covered. He's mostly, his entire like thing is the buffs, and that's pretty much all you should be using him for. The heals are just kind of a bonus, so I could see why that might be a problem for a few people, but he's not intentionally a main healer. If you ever played like World of Warcraft and you were an elemental shaman or an enhancement shaman, that's kind of what this is. You put down the totems to buff, and you do your thing, and heals are just sort of a backup. Love him, dope. So far he is okay. My main issue with him is that he cannot heal teammates who are far away, as his main healing method is to set up his totems. Okay, so exactly, right? Setting up the totems is like total ass. I don't know how the fuck these star ratings come out, dude. I don't ever put the stars because I don't want people to disagree with me like I'm disagreeing with people, but how do you just have him 5-star in everything? Like, what, dude? There's no way. I'm sure he carried you past silver in the fucking arena, and that's why you like him. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the preview so we can see some of his abilities in real time. Now, we'll go ahead and take notice. This is him completely at base before you have any skill ups. Super dope. Range, first skill, puts unenhanceable. Now they can't be buffed. Now look at this totem. Hold on, let's just reset. Set the totem here. Even here, it's not in range, okay? You have to, and this range does not increase with skill ups. Is he in range? I can't even, did I get him in range? I moved as close as I could. Hold on. Now he's in range for sure. Like, Do you see how fucking annoying that is? Like, okay, now this one, same range, dude. It's not that good, okay? The buffs are fucking amazing. Have you ever done Guild Raid though? And even where you have complete control of your units and where they are positioned in Guild Raid, it is not easy. It is not easy to get 5 people in such a small fucking totem range, dude. It doesn't work. And whenever you put down the second one, like, you can see that the second totem has even less range than the third one does, and the third one doesn't even have shit for range. So the buffs, look at the buffs we have right now. That's amazing. Speed buff, protection, defense buff, plus whenever you skill them up, they get all that shit. How the fuck are you gonna squeeze 5 people in there? I don't know, dude. I don't know. All right, and whenever we use this, again, we just see, you know, it does damage. Removes beneficial effects on them. They don't have any beneficial effects. Pretty underwhelming, but whenever we promote it, of course, this is the goal you should be striving to achieve whenever you're building a unit, is seeing how they perform at maximum efficiency. So we see the damage of this first skill jumped up to 145, and the rate of unenhanceable has been increased. So if you want to take 3 turns not using your totems in Guild Wars, just putting unenhanceable on everybody one at a time, you could do that. Now the totems, again, like same range. Let's go ahead and make sure we get Homeboy in the range so we could actually see how it could fare if you were able to even get them all on there. Now look at all these buffs we have. That's fucking nutty. That's super duper good. But you do not have super armor right here. So if you paired him with Madeline in the arena, you would have to pair him with Madeline to get super armor so that you don't get pulled out of this. If Homeboy here is a dealer, he cannot move towards these dudes and maintain the buffs. On top of that, like, it's just not ideal. It's just not, okay? One cool thing to note is that we're getting Rage Bar, right? Every time we use a skill, we get some Rage Bar. Homeboy gets some Rage Bar. It's not really showing it, but they are. And then whenever we use this, see, we had 3 enemies. We got 24 Rage Bar on ourselves. So that could be cool. That could ramp up really well if you had time to ramp up. The only stage I could see it being viable is that tight melee stage in Guild Wars, and then on the bridge stage it's still not going to be viable because people are moving down the bridge. Donut stage is not going to be viable because people are moving across the donuts. Arena, it's not going to be viable because in the arena you have 5 units, so the setup that you can do for a 1-turn kill with 5 units is way going to outfactor anything you could do just by putting down one of these totems in that time, or even if you put down 2 of them, if there's like a Farius or they have a Farius skill potential, you're pretty much done by that point. So highly recommend for Guild Raid. I would definitely recommend him for Guild Raid. I might even recommend him for Trivia. Maybe even Isard, like, you know, all PvE content, I would go ahead and give him a go. But for PvP, I'm going to go ahead and give him a no. But as for PvE content, let's go ahead and talk about what gear I might put on him. Obviously, we're trying to get the totems out as fast as possible, use as many abilities as possible so that we're building as much Rage Bar as possible, etc, etc, etc. So you're going to want a dash set with attack percent, attack speed on your gloves, and then on your ring, you know, I would really just run with as much HP as you can humanly possibly get on him. So for boots and ring, I would potentially just go with HP, because you are definitely going to need to get these down as fast as possible, and they share HP with you, so the totems can be destroyed fairly easily as well. So that's something else to have to worry about whenever you're worried about placing them down, is them being destroyed. So you want to have as much HP as possible so that they're not just instantly destroyed the second you put them down. So definitely dash just as much speed as possible is what I would recommend. As for rage cards, let's go ahead and see the top 3 rage cards I would recommend using if you're going to use them for PvE. So one of the third one that I would recommend, number 3 in rating or whatever, would be the Emergency Speed Up Suit Rage card. Recovers attack bar by 100 when you're inflicted with damage that's 15% or above of the total HP as once. As we know, we're trying to get out the totems as fast as possible. So if you're inflicted with damage in between the time that you put down your first totem, you can get a little bit of attack bar to help ensure that you put down that second one a little bit faster and start ramping up faster. The more you get hit, the faster you can ramp up. The second one I'm going to go ahead and recommend would be the Boomerang. Steals the rage bar of the enemy who attacked you with a crit by 10. So since his primary focus is really getting off those totems, but his rage skill can potentially be a game changer in both PvP and PvE. So if you were getting hit with multi-hits in PvP, multi-hits that couldn't really one-shot you, this could be very good for stealing the rage bar of the enemy that's attacking you, is ensuring, of course, that they're not attacking around you, so that you can steal their rage bar, prevent them from using their rage skill, and get yours off even faster. And the number 1 card I would recommend, since we all know that turn 1 is really running things right now, would be the Rage Supplement Rage Supplement Rage card. What a name. I never really noticed that. Okay, but yeah, so since we're only getting 10 from the boomerang, you know, if you're getting turn 1, that could possibly be not helping you at all. If you only get hit once, or even if you get hit a bunch of times and it's not a crit, it's still not helping you at all because he also has crit resistance in his abilities. So it's possible that you just don't get crit. So this is a better way to ensure that you at least get 15 of your rage bar right off the bat to help you ramp up that rage skill and ramp up getting off all of the effects and abilities you need to get off as fast as possible. And that's pretty much going to do it for KUNZ today, y'all. I know that this isn't like good news. It's for a lot of people that really like him. Feel free to prove me wrong, right? Show me videos of him doing some insane shit, bruh. Show me him tanking off a fairy as second skill with your entire team grouped up at a totem. Just do it all. And you know where you can do that? In my Discord. So feel free to join my Discord. We have new players and veteran players in there that like to help each other out or just drop a meme, but don't be sensitive because we like to have fun. And other than that, y'all, that's gonna do it for me today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.